Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top, if you got it, let's go.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
yes. If you got it, let's go, honey. Let's go, honey.
Let's go. We are
Yes.
Let's
back,
get it.
back
Let's
with
go.
another No Bra
No bra.
Wednesday.
No bra Wednesday,
Woo, woo.
honey. No bra.
We are letting
Yes.
the titties loose and we gotta we
Yes.
talking about some serious
Yes.
shit today, Lord.
Yes, we
have
are, girl.
Yes,
We let
we're about to break it down.
yeah, we let
So
the
bring
testosterone
the kids, bring your man, bring everybody here, bring your daddy, bring your husband, bring everybody in the room because this shit right here, like we said, this shit right here is serious.
Yes,
So
it
we are
is.
talking about erectile dysfunction.
What?
The lowdown on not getting it up.
Or
So
not getting it up, honey.
child, I got my pen and paper. So go get your notebook, okay? Because it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one, okay?
Yes, it is.
Also, we have an awesome guest in the living room today. And with that, I'm just gonna pass it on to Science so she get this shit started, okay?
Yeah, child, I am so excited. When I say I've been excited for the last few days, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this conversation. Before we dive in, because I'm ready to dive in. I just want to remind everybody that we go live every Wednesday at Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Bra Wednesday, where we let the girls loose and we say it with our breasts. What? Because we know the titties got a lot to say, honey. We get to listen to that. We need to listen to all the wisdom.
Yes.
And just as a reminder, on the first Wednesday of the month, we are either doing shooting the shit with Sonia and Paz, or we are having the fellas in the room for Ask Your Daddy. The second Wednesday, of course, it is my week, which is Cocktails with a Sexologist, and we're gonna get into that bedroom, honey. And then, of course, on the fourth Wednesday of each month, the last Wednesday of each month, we get into that money, and Pastel gets excited because that's her time.
I do.
That is her official time of the month. So. And just so you know, next Wednesday we will be talking about your fall style, and we're gonna have some women in here to help you get it together for the fall. We're gonna have our favorite stylists, that help whip our closets together. So we can't wait to have her on, and we're having somebody in on skincare, so we can talk about taking care of that skin, especially now that the summer is over and it needs some. We're moving into those colder months where you need to take care of that skin, honey.
You need to take that skin all year round.
You do.
A little dry.
In the winter. I say it just gets a little worse, and so you might have to. And also, sometimes we have to change up our skincare routine, and we don't always do that. Doing the same thing every season, child, it ain't working. It is not working. You're going to need to do something different. So now, without further ado, we're about to talk about that erectile dysfunction, honey. And I cannot wait because we have a special guest in the room. I am so excited that she's joined us, Miss Peaches.
Yes.
Yes. And actually, here, let me throw her name up on the screen so y'all know who we talk about. And she is here we go, with the Needed Touch, and I love that name. That is so cute.
Needed.
Yeah, ED. Hello.
Yes.
So Miss Peaches, tell us about yourself, ma'am, and she is a specialist about that ED. So I cannot wait.
That part, as stated, Deborah Richardson, also known as Miss Peaches, and I am a licensed massage therapist, a certified life coach, and in the process of becoming a certified sexologist. And where my sexology journey has taken me to is the world of erectile dysfunction. And so I come at it from a different approach, in the sense that I'm going to start with the mental. And I prefer to work specifically with men first. And we're going to have some conversations as to what brought you here. A lot of times men have been through a lot. Them penises have done a lot of damage. So
Girl.
Yes, okay, we all know they've done a lot of damage. So we take the time to figure out mentally, from a mental health perspective, what's going on, and then we use some natural some natural things to get them going. And then if they're in relationships, I help them incorporate their partners into the situation. So it's a wholeness for him, and then it's a wholeness for the family in dealing with
Girl, you
erectile
better be making these
dysfunction.
families whole around this
Yes.
erectile dysfunction, honey, because we need this out here in
Yes.
these streets. So yeah, so actually I want to start us off before we even have, because Peaches is going to break it down and tell us what she normally does with her clients and some of the places that we have to look at in terms of how to support men and the blessed penis. Just one, I want to just give a quick description about what erectile dysfunction is, because a lot of times we hear that word out in the world. We don't always know what that entails. And I want to get Peaches' input in terms of where you come from with the definition too. But I just wanted to say, one, usually erectile dysfunction is about one, not being able to get an erection. But in addition, it's also about not being able to maintain an erection. So it's not just getting. So sometimes you can get an erection, but you may not be able to maintain it long enough for it to go all the way through to us having a pleasurable, or being able to do with that erection what you wanted to do. So Peaches, what do you in terms of when you explain it to your clients, what do you usually talk to them about in terms of what it's about?
Erectile dysfunction, I let them determine it. For many men, it, just because it doesn't even have to be so much that they can't get it up. Men have it in their minds that he's supposed to be rock hard at all times. So, first thing I attempt to do, let's normalize it. None of our body parts last a lifetime. So let's step into a space where as you go old, your penis grows old too. And so we start there. Your expectation of what this thing is supposed to do is unrealistic. So for my clients, that's the start. Whatever they determine their dysfunction is.
Got it. I like that. And because it's different for every person in terms
Right.
of being able to take a look at, okay, so yeah, I may not be as hard as I used to be. And so that may be a challenge for me.
But
Exactly.
clinically, it is what you just
It's what
said.
she said clinically. Yes.
Yeah, clinically, that's but but we talking about the yeah. But
No, I just want to make sure people are aware of the actual clinical definition versus
Definition. Yes.
the psychological impact of you ain't, playing football no more in your glory days and your shit don't get as hard as it used to. That's a
That
little
part.
different.
That part.
Again, erectile dysfunction is the inability to get and keep an erection
And or
firm
maintain.
enough
Yes.
for sex. So that is the clinical definition.
for penetration.
Yes.
Yes. For yeah. So tell us where do you kind of start with somebody that is coming to you? They're saying that they believe they may have this issue, or how do you even get people that come to you in terms of because do they really believe, okay, I have an issue and let me look you up, or how does that work?
As a licensed massage therapist, I meet a lot of men. That tends to be the basis of my clientele. And it just starts with a conversation. Men are comfortable with me and just working with them. And I do energy work. So, after a session, they may tend to open up first and foremost about their sex life. I am a sexologist. So just in introducing myself, they find comfort in expressing what it is that they need. So we start there, which is simply opening up. And the biggest thing I have to do is, like I said, it's really serious how much the relationship the person has had with their penis and how much damage it has potentially caused. You got outside babies, you got unwanted pregnancies, you have just all kinds of drama that can tend to, after a while, when you're young, you're sowing your oats. But as you get older, you've made these outside babies. You've been hit with child support. Those things do take an effect on your penis. So we
Girl.
start there. Let's talk about what your sex life has consisted of. A lot of men that have really used their penis just off of the overusage can be a situation. So we just really dig into what their relationship has been with their actual penis.
Got it. And I like the way that you put that, because I think that we certainly talk about men sowing their wild oats as if that's just something that is why you laugh? What you laughing about?
Somebody just commented, we wearing it out and put a lot of miles on our penises.
Exactly.
Yes, a lot of
That's it.
miles.
Yes, yeah.
And unfortunately, we in this culture, we give men the false illusion that somehow that mileage does not impact you. As a matter of fact, it's what you meant to do, is what you're supposed to be about, but not understanding some of the traumatic hits that we get. Like you said, I've had a few baby scares. That's traumatized me, but I'm not recognizing that that's traumatized me. And so as a result, now I'm starting to fear what I'm creating with my penis. Girl.
That part.
That part. Yeah. So, okay. So then the mileage, and then what else are you discovering in terms of what they come? So I know that, of course, it's psychological, and there are other reasons. You have other reasons that you have clients that come to you about, or I also do have our list of, there's medical reasons that.
Of course, you do have medical reasons. What one of the biggest things that most of us, 99.9% of us, they give us high blood pressure. It's very few of us that are not taking some sort of high blood pressure pill. Once again, start right there. High blood pressure pill is going to affect the amount of blood flowing to your penis. So you do have to add in prescription medication that you may be taking. In addition, any medical situations and prescriptions that you are taking is going to potentially and highly affect your erection.
Exactly. High blood pressure. And also there's these specific known risk factors. I'm going to run them down, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. But diabetes, and definitely diabetes is not being controlled and managed. Cardiovascular disease, which is again another blood flow, issue. Smoking, drug use, drinking too much alcohol, obesity, sedentary lifestyle. So sitting around being a couch potato will definitely affect your penis. And then being over the age of 50, because we talked about, as you get older, the penis is aging, and it's changing. And we get to, in some ways, understand the change.
Not say that again. 50. I feel like it tends to start around 40-ish.
Okay. I think, we have some information about it starting earlier than that, but you also forgot to mention, you mentioned recreational drugs, but I just wanted to specifically mention marijuana. Marijuana is widely used right now. It's widely used.
It is widely used.
I'm just letting y'all know.
Yeah. You would ever be high, you want an erection. That's
expecting that roll of quarter. So if you want to keep smoking every day, it can affect your erection. So it's not just marijuana, but I wanted to specifically mention that because it's so widely used right now.
Yeah. And I know that, and so really any place, especially as you're starting to get older, we've talked about putting the mileage on the penis when you're in your 20s and 30s. We're putting mileage on your bodies. Yeah. We're using and abusing, and it's not catching up to you. And then at some point we start noticing that it starts impacting a lot of different places. What are you finding with any of your clients in that specific area?
It's the overall, what you find, many men don't go to the doctor. It's out there that women, we run to the doctor for everything. You have men that have, most times they wait until they have some sort of massive symptom and then they run to the doctor. So they're not even into their physical health over time, let alone their reproductive health. So that's a major issue too.
Yeah, that could be a major thing. And then one other thing that I saw in my research is that and we're seeing it more and more now, is due to porn.
And talk about it.
Talk about it, because porn, and that's, again, this is so the biggest. And this is what Peaches has already alluded to in terms of your biggest sex organ is your brain.
Right.
And so sometimes how you're altered emotionally or in your, with your mental thinking can impact your erections as well. And we're finding that that overuse of porn actually can up.
It's like a
desensitization. It's really that now you're needing to almost you're using it so much that now regular life doesn't compare. So now this
Anything
work, yeah,
that's an addiction is an addiction.
it's an
So
addiction.
anything that you overuse excessively to the point
Mhm,
that you can no longer control it, it's an addiction. So
mhm.
porn is an addiction, just like the drug use can be an addiction. I think what's interesting with the porn statistics, though, how young the boys are. You really
Yes.
have young men in their 20s, early 20s now, experiencing erectile dysfunction. So the
Yeah.
porn is
Yeah.
becoming a major issue in and of itself.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it has to.
yeah, well, they have. We have now some. So it's so accessible. It's so
Hmm.
easy.
Yeah,
Back in the day
yeah,
when we were young, you'd have to go and look for porn, and
yeah.
buy it. And
Yeah.
now all you have to do is push a button on your phone. It's right there.
Exactly. You had to go under your uncle's mattress, go digging for those magazines, or, hopefully you might be able to get in the back of an adult store. But right now it's everywhere and it's coming in so many other formats. Instagram models, just something as simple as being on Instagram, you are constantly being bombarded with sex these days. So it's like, it's not that it's new,
Hmm.
it's just overstimulation.
Overstimulation.
that's it
Yep.
right there.
Overstimulation. And then normal stimulation can't then do the job.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I know I went. I had an encounter where the first thing the guy was like, "Okay, so what type of porn do you like?" And he put it up on the screen, like, "Yeah, we about to that." I'm like, "Well, but I didn't wait. I didn't say that I." But immediately it was like, "What kind of nasty porn do you like?" So that we can put this up because this is what we're going to use. And I'm like, "Okay," and yeah, it was clear that he couldn't function without it.
Without it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, yeah. So now to some of the emotional stuff that you're discovering, what are you in your treatment? What are some of the things that you find that you do with clients, and what are some of the successes that you have with respect to working through the mileage that has now
Initially,
caused?
when we start, and it like you said, most men, when they say a man's brain is in his penis, that's really true.
Mm,
They've been running amok with it, and then so what we do, we start with the actual disconnect. You now have two separate parts of your body that are disconnected, so we have to start there.
mm,
And at the end of the day, think about it. You wake up at one point and it just doesn't work.
mm,
And so there's a grief cycle that goes with that. So we're going to start in the grief cycle. I need to see
mm.
what part of the grief cycle that he's in. That's a reason to mourn. It's
Yeah.
not working. So and just coming with compassion and coming with sensitivity, but the goal is to get them in the present moment. This is where we are today. This is
Yeah.
where we are today. And that's really how I determine who I'm going to work with, because you have to get into a point where you're open and you're willing to do the work. And so when it comes to helping women dealing with the issue, I'm not really solid there because women overextend themselves in taking on erectile dysfunction. You don't have a penis. So at the end of the day, you want to work through it. But if he's not willing to work through it, you may need to look at something else. As we said, there's some underlying addiction there. So would
Mm,
you stay in a relationship with someone that's addicted and didn't want to get help? So what I do with them is a lot different. So men, once we get into the grief and we get them into the present, we then have to do about the research. Let's see if it's physiological, medical, or if
mm,
it's just mental. And
mm.
that mental aspect is if he sleep and he can get an erection in his sleep, then that's that brain body disconnect, and we
Talk
start
about
there.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
talk.
yeah. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So, in particular, men are stressed out during the day and they're just conscious mind. And when they're experiencing erectile dysfunction, that is pressure times 10. Like I
Mm,
said, women, it's sad because it's unrealistic to think that the penis is going to be the same throughout the duration of this person's life.
right.
So he and his partner are making huge issues out of it. So,
Mm,
it's like breathe in it. It's okay. And so let's think of some other things that we can do. So you have to get them centered in it's okay. And it really is okay.
yeah.
And so once they make that their breathing, they may have an erection in the middle of the night. They may, and if they have that erection in the middle of the night, it's clear it's a lot more head work that we have to do. And the physical work will be more solvable. We don't have to immediately run to prescriptions. Now, in my line, I stay away from the blue pills and things of that nature. We work with whole foods and things of that nature to get them where they need to be. So I take a natural route. If you can get an erection in the middle of the night, there's a strong possibility you can come back from it, and it's not something that will perpetuate throughout the rest of your life.
Right.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
men usually have, what is it, Sonya? 3 to 4
I think
erections.
you said about 5 when you were reading that article. So when we were talking,
Um, I
well, but
think
even 3 to 4,
It
that's
it was
still
like three. It's about 3 every 8 hours of sleep.
yeah, throughout
Hmm.
the night. So
Yeah.
3 to
Hmm.
4 erections
yeah,
through the night.
Yes.
So
sounds
it's
nice.
something
Yeah.
to attention to,
Yeah.
fellas, ladies. Reach over there, test it out, see if it's
Is
just
is
yeah,
it? Yeah.
just
Is
check it
that
out.
erection?
If it's working at
Yeah,
night,
and
then
you know what?
oh
As a matter of fact, that was something that one of my clients had told me, that when he went to the doctor, it's natural that they don't get that morning wood. He was like, "When's the last time you noticed it?" They don't even tend to notice it. Pay attention to your bodies, fellas. Once you don't wake up with that morning erection. You're beginning to develop some physiological situations in terms that are leading towards ED.
Right. When you're starting to notice that you're not having them or
Not
having
having
fewer of
the
them.
more,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Not
Hmm.
the normal. Okay. So, or not what you're accustomed to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
now we're
Yeah.
talking a lot about the psychological impact,
Hmm.
well, the psychological effects of erectile dysfunction. But we can't neglect that there are physical health reasons why people are getting, really getting clinical erectile dysfunction. And
Hmm.
also, I'd like to talk about how diet affects erectile dysfunction. So for me, I'm always a you know, lifestyle. Lifestyle change
Right.
everything.
Hmm.
And I think, you mentioned the blue pill. People are so quick to run to the pharmaceuticals. But can you talk a little bit about how um, uh, um, diet affects erectile dysfunction?
Diet is it's almost everything. It
Yeah.
affects, like I said, many people, men in particular, in this situation, they don't even go to the doctor until they have something. They got a pain in their chest, and that's when they go to the doctor to get these things checked out. Meaning, throughout your life, you've not paid attention to what you are eating, what you've been putting in your mouth. Most of us are eating meat, most of us are drinking. So that's where the commitment has to be strong, because pretty much you're going to need to go on a natural diet. You're going to have to incorporate watermelon. You're going to have to
Hmm.
incorporate beet juice. You're going to have to incorporate a lot of things that have more things that are going to work with your erection as opposed to work against it. So you're going to have to learn to love vegetables. You're going to have to want a smoothie. You're going to have to want to walk. You're going to have to want to push away that 16-ounce steak. So the commitment has to be there, but it's a total 180. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
Yeah. Well, we can't expect that these unhealthy lifestyles, you can't expect that abusing your body and having addictive relationships with food is going to actually then have you have the results that you want. It's like wanting to be an athlete and then you are surprised when you can't, perform on the field. It's the same thing. It's still a very physical activity, and at some point, your body's not going to be up to it if you're not keeping it, at a place where it can actually be up to that physical task. Sex is physical, so if you think
Yeah.
that you're going to be having great sex with your out of shape ass. It is not. We say that for women as well. You can't. I don't know what we're thinking we're going to get when we're not caring for the only body that you have.
Exactly.
Otherwise you are going to, you're going. It's going to go down more quickly.
More quickly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
More quickly once you tap into that, is because that adds in another level of stress into the relationship.
That too.
Uh,
That too.
so that pushback, like you said, it's a choice. It's a choice. Do you want your erection back? Are you willing to do the things that you've been prolonging all of this time?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a
So
lot of people aren't willing to do that. They want to go to pharmaceuticals. It is an option.
Yeah.
It is an option.
yeah,
Um,
you want to give us some of that. So Pastel is also a pharmacist by trade.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes, yeah. So Pastel, you want to talk some about the little blue pill, and then also I have some. I know people have some reactions to that. So it is not always the most pleasant pop a pill and you go have an erection type of
Right.
experience.
right. So
Sometimes it can actually be uncomfortable. Not the best thing in the world. But go ahead, Pas.
right. So there are a few on the market. We all know the blue pill, Viagra. That's the most popular one. Take that on an empty stomach
Your
and
voice just changed. I don't know what happened.
change.
Yeah, something happened. It just dropped out.
Really? Can
Okay,
you hear me?
I hear you
It's
now.
like,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So my
yeah.
Viagra, the blue pill, you take on an empty stomach.
Right.
You can maintain an erection for about 3 to 5 hours after taking that on an empty stomach. So you can't have a big steak and go and pop your Viagra and think you're gonna perform for dessert. It ain't
Mm.
gonna happen. So empty stomach. There's also Cialis, Levitra, and FDA also approved a daily dose of Cialis, and
mm,
that you can actually get erections on demand. So it's a more, I want to say that it's not natural because you're taking a pill, but you can get erections like you used to, versus
Mm.
taking a pill, waiting, getting an
so what
erection.
about the long-term side effects? Because we've all heard the commercials. Okay, you're going to get an erection, but it may cause,
Yeah, blah
cross-eyedness
blah blah.
and, 20, 20,
She
20
said
different other things
cross-eyedness.
that you're going to
Yes.
lose. So,
Yeah. Let's talk
what?
about it.
I mean, most of the side effects are immediate, so they may
Mm,
get flushing because I mean these pills affect blood flow, right?
mm,
So
Mm-hmm.
they pass out. Some people get
Mm.
upset stomach, nasal congestion, diarrhea, diabetes, rash, vision problems, all this other shit. So I mean, and the other thing is, if you're not taking care of yourself and you do have cardiac problems, you can be, exacerbating your cardiac issues by
Oh
taking.
wow.
You really shouldn't be taking these. So, some people actually are risking their lives to get, an
To have
erection,
an erection.
to
Yeah.
have an erection. So, um, I always say deal with the root,
Right.
not the leaves. So
right.
the root is your ass is eating everything. Your diet ain't right. You ain't exercise. You ain't taking care of your body. You treating your body like a trash compactor, and
Mm.
you get to really work with yourself and see what is that about. Why,
Right.
what happened? Why aren't you doing the minimum exercise? And a lot of that can lead to depression, right? So
Hmm.
Right.
you create this whole myriad of issues due to the erectile dysfunction. I know personally, just speaking as a seasoned woman, I've experienced men who couldn't perform, you know, and I ain't gonna be with that. I did not want that in my life. So
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm just being
No,
honest.
no, 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 no. I'm just saying it's just the
No,
way you
I
said it.
think
It was
that's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. If you're,
I'm not
if
signing
you're,
up
a,
for that shit.
yes,
I
if
ain't
you're a
signing up for
single woman, it's not recommended that you sign up for that. If you're a woman that's in a committed relationship and he's not willing to do anything, he's stuck in the depression phase or the anger phase or whatever phase he's stuck in, it may be time to rethink the relationship. But I would definitely say if you're a single woman, don't sign up for it because it's serious. It's not something that can or will change overnight. So if sex is how you judge the characteristic of your relationship, it's a no.
Yeah.
that. Right. If it's
Yeah.
important, yeah.
Right.
Don't be. Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I would say that women also that whole idea that you're going to go in and fix somebody is the same thing.
Right.
Like
Get
Yeah.
you
the.
think you're going to go in and rescue, and now I'm gonna cook all this food, and he's going to eat right, and I'm going to
No.
make sure I slap the chicken out of his hand. That's not your job. We also baby and take on
Yeah.
responsibility for another grown person's issues. This is
Issue.
not your son.
Right.
This is
Well,
a
I
supposed to.
don't. So if my man is open to me cooking healthy, You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Then I'm gonna do it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's not. I'm not gonna force it. Like
Yeah.
I know my ex-husband. Finances was a big issue, and diet was a big issue for us because he would eat everything, and I was like, I'm not gonna sit up here and watch you kill yourself. I
Right.
don't eat. I just don't eat like that. You know, I don't want my kids eating like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now he has really terrible diabetes.
Mm.
So it's just you have to take care of this vessel. You know, so that's the
That part.
important thing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that prevent us from doing that. You know, I mean, trauma, depression, anxiety, all kind of stuff. You know, the like you said, the mind is the real sex
Mhm.
organ.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was talking about not taking, I'm saying where you feel like you have to police, because that's not
Oh,
your job to
yeah.
police somebody. Now, yeah,
Okay.
most certainly I'm going to, we're going to do this together, and I'm going to cook healthy, and we're going to try to see how to help you be healthier. But what I'm not going to do is feel like I have to now, and because a lot of times women take that on as their role. Like, it's
Mhm.
my job to tell you, you can't eat that. No,
Mhm.
you won't be eating that. You won't be doing that. I'm not sure where
Well,
we
honey,
get
just
that
the
you get to be
attitude right
controlling.
there, to some extent, just the way you put that, sometimes that causes erectile dysfunction.
Mm,
I think honestly, like relationships in my realm, it's about growth and journey and changing. And
mhm,
so people come and people go. And so, especially when you're married, you're like holding on to this thing that's like dead and stinking in the water. So it's
mm,
really when you get to this erectile dysfunction phase, many people have set their whole relationship up on the sex. So, you don't even have a foundation anymore. So it might really be time for him to get what he needs out of the relationship to let you go, and vice versa. So
right,
right now, it's not a happy place when it comes to working with the couples, because they're having to face some real situations. We were never
right.
we stopped being for one another a long time ago, which is
Mm,
why I turned to porn, which is why I had outside babies. So the work this work is really deep and is really serious. So it's a process that's going to bring you to you, though. It's going to bring him to how serious he is about himself, and for her the same thing.
right.
It's your life, go live it.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you mentioned talking to the women about, like you say something different to the men, to the women than you do to the men. And I'm sure that some of what you just said might be some of it, but do you have others what are you saying to women when you're talking about, okay, this is how you get to approach this? First of all, yeah, this is not your penis, that in terms of it's just not happening to you.
Yeah,
So
I
how do you
think
support your partner and then also do what you need to do for yourself?
that part, it's you don't have a penis, so you have to sit in a place of human decency when it
Mm,
initially starts. Just
yes.
wake up and imagine your vagina shut off, can't put nothing in it, ain't nothing coming out, it's just not functioning. And to some extent, that's what identifies us as a whole woman. Well, you've lost that identity. And I feel like
Mm,
men are closer to their penises than women are to their vaginas. That's their homie. Like, they've been together. You rub him, he
mm,
massage. You know what I'm saying? That's his
mhm, mhm.
boy. And
Right.
you wake up and you shaking him, he dead. He really
Mm.
do. Really
Yeah,
do. So you have to
right.
sit there and let him process that, which is, like I said, I have to put things on a grief model that has absolutely nothing to do with you as a
Yeah.
woman. So don't
Mm,
immerse yourself 100% into it. So then if you have a relationship that was like, he was banging my back out and now he can't do that anymore, what are you doing to him? You're emasculating him. You're tearing him
mm,
down. Where do you think that erection is going to come back from? So,
yeah,
people have to look at the foundation of their relationship to start with.
got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah, definitely. And definitely the compassion. Because when we were even talking, when you were agreeing to do the show, just recognizing that you're, like you said, dealing with grief. Like, imagine losing something major. Like, if you were to
Yeah.
lose, like you said, our vagina, but if you were to lose your arm, like some women would be like, oh, yeah, she don't work no more. I'm good. I can move on with my life. But if you lost something major that you love, like, your arm or your sight or your something, and it's
Hmm.
like now all of a sudden I got to live my life without that, it would probably be very devastating. And
Exactly.
even if you caused it through your neglect of yourself, that's still like the
It
place that we
still
wouldn't come
happens.
from is beating up on that person for
Yeah.
not having use of that. Now, we're not going to extend it all the way out where you're not going to do anything and I'm just going to hang around forever, but
Right.
certainly initially being able to have empathy for the fact that, wow, what it must be like.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The grief of losing your homie. I mean, if
Hmm.
I lost my girl,
Right,
come down the
right.
street, I'd be like, oh
Yes.
shit, what I'm
When
gonna
we
do?
have a hysterectomy,
But
even though you don't walk around with your uterus, you a part of you has been forever altered, and it
Yes.
may or may not come back. That's trauma. That's
Yes,
traumatic
trauma.
in and of
yeah,
itself.
Yeah.
that's a take home point right there. We have
Hmm.
a a couple of comments.
Okay, sure.
Person said, erectile dysfunction begins after we witness a woman have a natural birth. Okay, well, okay. So, and someone else said, have you anything to say about that condition spoken of in some commercials I've seen about an erection that lasts 4 or more hours?
Oh, yeah.
That's called
Yeah.
priapism. So that's priapism is serious.
Serious.
It is emergency room worthy, and
Mm.
I work at a mental hospital, and some of our drugs cause priapism, and I've seen
Mm.
people they were suffering,
In pain.
Wow.
so
It's
they had to go
painful.
to the emergency room. Um, it ain't nothing to play with. It ain't fun. People think, "Oh, I wish I had an erection." No, you
No,
don't.
you don't. You do
No,
No.
not.
you don't. You
You do
want that
not.
mother to go down like it's
Like
supposed
it's supposed to.
to. Right.
Right.
That
Right.
shit ain't fun.
Right. Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, so it's a definitely a very serious effect
Yeah.
Hmm.
from some drugs.
Got it. So,
That's all we have for right now.
yeah, in terms of comments.
Yeah.
All right. So,
1 second, sorry. Feel free
sure.
to type your comments. We're looking at them on screen and we can respond. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll respond. Other than that, we're gonna keep on going with this wonderful conversation. But you just dropped something, Peaches. I the homie shit that hit my heart. That
Yeah.
yeah, my homie
Yeah.
gone. That
That's my
gives me
man. That's my man's. That's his man's. That
yeah.
thing been in his hand since he came, probably in the womb. Like they're
Right.
that close.
They all even
They
They
when
are
are
tight.
that
right
close.
when
And
they
think about
baby,
it. That with the penis, it's outside the body. They can hold him. They can
it's an
stroke him.
extension.
They have a relationship that women can't comprehend. We can't
Right.
get that close. We looking real crazy, but they can do all of that. You see them. They walk down the street, tucking them, moving them. They have an extremely close relationship with their penis to the point it's their identity. It's who
Right.
they are. It's man, I'm banging out backs. It's women identify men by their sexual prowess. So it's a very big emotional impact on a man when and if he has any sort of dysfunction from whatever perspective he sees it as.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of grief in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question just came in. How do you handle ED because of sickness?
I think the beauty is like the bottom line of my work is there sex is a beautiful thing. Me as a woman of a certain age, penetrative sex is good. But there's fingers, there's toys, there are so many other things that you can add into the repertoire. So for me, it's the opportunity for let's not focus so much on the penis and you can get into oral more. There's just so many other things that you can do. And I don't know about you, but did you know that you can have an ejaculation without an erection?
I know that's right.
So, if you're good at what you do, or I can teach you how to do that, you can please your man in so many other ways. And then for those men that may have been heavily and overly dependent on just the penis, I work with them in how to open themselves up first to toys, how to approach a woman about toys, and if it's done the right way, with the women that I kind of deal with. They're compassionate enough. I think it's sexy if a man has a bag of toys, and he's comfortable in with his own body. Because when it comes down to it, most of this is fear. Men don't go to the doctor because they fear that prostate exam, and they're scared, of getting a finger in their private places. So let's normalize sex. It's a whole continuum. So when
Yes.
you get to this stage, penetration is not all there is that you can do in the bedroom. And so life becomes even better.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole idea, I like what you just said, Peaches, about basically sex being this continuum,
Hmm.
because it's not always going to look the same. And it doesn't look the same in any of our
No.
different, like at 40, it's like I was like out there and doing whatever. And then, 50, okay, now I'm in a settled relationship and now we doing this. And like intimacy evolves
It
and our
evolves.
bodies evolve and our
Hmm.
lives evolve. And we have the
Hmm.
opportunity to, yes, there might be some grief attached to it, but we get to
Hmm.
grieve, let go, and embrace now what is, so
Yeah,
that we can now
exactly.
do, because we can spend so much time looking back on what we feel like we've lost that you miss an
Hmm.
opportunity to enjoy what's available for you in the present. We get to evolve as beings,
Yep.
and I mean, clearly there's some reason that God has your body shift, because
And
other
It's
you
than that,
better
natural.
tell it. You
there
better
wasn't, if there wasn't a reason, then you would just go out of here rock solid till the end, and then you drop dead for whatever reason. But
Right.
clearly, there's a reason that we go through the aging process, so we get to embrace that. And in this culture, we're taught that no, you want to rage against aging, and you
Hmm.
want to reject it, and that's why a lot of us are in so much pain, because we can't accept the fact that we're
Hmm.
aging.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And
you
let's
get
normalize. I don't want to say normalize erectile dysfunction, but let's normalize the history, the life history, the life cycle of the penis. It's going
Yes.
to lose its strength just like the
right.
body naturally does.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is it creates an opportunity
Hmm.
Yes.
to
Yes,
to
exactly. Yes.
to reframe and
Hmm.
reclaim and get present with who
Mm.
you are and where you are and create a new path.
A new
So
opportunity.
I know
Yes.
that sounds way out there,
No,
but
but that's real.
you get to reframe. Like I think the same. I think this way about everything. People that get married in their 20s and they expect to be the same person the whole time.
You're
Right.
not going to be.
This 20-year-old bitch ain't this 50-year-old bitch.
Exactly.
She had
Exactly.
experience. She has had life experience. She's had shit go down. You have to renegotiate. You
Mm.
get to
Hmm.
renegotiate. So
Yeah.
and I don't think we give ourselves enough grace for that
Mm.
renegotiation because we're so
Girl,
stuck
No.
tell it.
And
in
I
what it
think when
was.
we begin to have the conversations, it's okay because dudes, like, they knees can't take it. I can't. They know.
Right.
They can't go for hours. Guess what, dude? I don't want you jumping around on me that long.
Get the
So it
fuck
is
off me.
right, exactly. So it is a great
I
opportunity.
always
So
say that shit.
we can do some mature people sex. And I'm just here to
Yes.
say that's when, to me, life opens up.
I know that's right. What?
Yes,
Let's
yes.
talk
And we
about
getting
life
a few
opening up.
comments. It's great to listen to women who get it. End quote. Thank you so much. My urologist almost traumatized me. Bastard got fingers like chair legs. But we're
Oh,
cool now.
oh,
Oh my
you
god.
say chair legs. My God. Don't nobody want that. Not even the
I
ladies.
trust me, I
Mm-mm.
don't believe that, but I'm sure
Mhm.
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somebody said, I appreciate that y'all get it. Most women's initial reaction to ED is the same reaction Dr. Potts initially has. She's out and ain't dealing with it, moving on to somewhere without ED. No, I'm not signing up for that. But if I'm in a
Mhm.
relationship, that's a different level of commitment. So
Yeah, that
Right.
is.
no,
And
it's
that's the other
yeah.
thing.
So don't hate me
Yeah.
on that. I'm just being honest. Fuck
Yeah.
that. I'm
Well,
sorry.
and the truth is, then that's another place to take a look at. Are you expecting some single woman that you ain't committed to deal with your erectile dysfunction? That ain't my job. Like, if you unless we're committed and you showing me a different level of what you bringing to the table, the fact that you're somehow expecting more from me in terms of committedness, but you're not even bringing that level of commitment. Come on now. No, we
Yeah,
get
and
to.
that's just me. Some women may not that sex may not be important, or as important to them. So maybe they want to sign it. Maybe they enjoy spending time. I'm just speaking for me, and I'm being honest. Y'all know I'm gonna tell y'all what the fuck I'm thinking. I'm just saying. Me.
Oh, Peaches, one of the things that I like that you said very early on is how about the disconnect.
Mhm.
The disconnect from the penis, the mind, and the penis, the mind and the penis, and also the disconnect between the destruction that's being created out here on the field. And I think we have the same disconnect as women, because I talk to women a lot about just being divorced from their vaginas. Like somehow they don't belong to me. It's my partner's. You don't look at, or you don't deal with it. And I think so. This is a lot to me as individuals that we're healing in terms of the disconnect that we have with our bodies and how we get to. So that's probably also a function of getting older, that I start to almost become one and connect with some places that I've not been handling in my youth, and I don't have the maturity to actually have that connection.
I just
So
think the one thing, just how unrealistic, it's not talked about because it's a man's world, but it's unrealistic that that thing is going to be brick till you die. It's
right,
not even realistic.
right,
It's not.
right.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Now,
Yeah.
now, one thing I when I was looking up this topic, I noticed that there is a racial disparity with erectile
Mm.
dysfunction. What do y'all think about that? You know, is it the more stress?
Ah,
I specifically looked at black
I'm
people.
gonna say our brothers don't go to the doctor. That's just statistics based on who reports and who doesn't. I think that more men suffer from it, period. I'm sure. I think our brothers, they're just not going to the doctor. They're stuck in a toxic masculinity almost, so they
Mm.
fear, they're bringing a lot of other things to the table. So I feel like their numbers aren't even being factored in right now. I think it's a huge thing that men encounter in general in greater numbers. Others just tend to go to the doctor. So therefore we have more accurate statistics that look like it affects us more. I think it's the same. They just don't go to the doctor.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Well, and I would actually even think that that given the amount of stress that we experience, I
That
could
part,
see it being more only because it feels like we're under the gun a lot. And
Hmm.
so I could imagine that really also wreaking havoc. And in addition, we know that we carry a lot of our trauma forward that's unresolved from past generations. So I can imagine we have a lot of psychological issues that need to be resolved, that we have we're not wanting to address because of the stigma of dealing with your emotional issues. So
Hmm.
somehow I think that a lot of our men think we're just going to power through it, and that's not happening. So you just then what do? You give up. So
yeah,
so I think that also we get to handle what's going on mentally and emotionally, and the added stress.
yep,
So
as well as
that's
disease.
just my yeah.
Disease is also, of course, we have disparities with diabetes, hypertension, those things. So that's a clear pathway to erectile dysfunction. And folks are getting younger with these diseases. The kids are getting diabetes. you know, we didn't grow. I don't know how old you are, Peaches, but we 40s, 50s in this camp. So I didn't grow up
I'll
knowing
be
nobody.
54 on Saturday. So.
Oh, I'm right behind you, honey. I am right
Right.
behind you, boo.
So I didn't grow up seeing people with diabetes, like in my high school.
Hmm.
Hypertension, yes. But diabetes, I didn't grow up with people who were overweight, those type of things. So just the American diet and the Black American diet,
Yeah,
is really, I would say that's a big contributor to
yeah,
the issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would think that American wise, there is a racial disparity, but also from research, men from other countries don't have it as much. It's not as much of an issue for them as it is for us. Our diet, the amount of stress, being African American in itself, being an American, period, is just a whole
Yeah.
new phenomenon that many countries
Right.
can't relate to. Many of them, they have the diet, their diet is different. And so you may meet them older in their 50s, not having any sort of erectile dysfunction. So I would be kind of curious to see on a nationality type things,
Right.
how the numbers play out.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
So
anybody,
someone
any other
mentioned,
comments? Any other?
yeah, someone mentioned epigenetics, and I just looked that up. So epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetic changes are reversible and do not change your DNA sequence, but they can change how your body reads a DNA sequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, out there, dropping it like it's hot in the in the comments. So Peaches, you have anything else that you want? And then you're in the DMV, right?
Yes,
DC,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So just in
I'm in
terms
the
of you want
M
to
of the DMV.
the M of the DMV.
Yeah.
So you want to just in terms of you know, of course, you guys, if you have something, you have additional questions, you can always reach out to Peaches, and we're gonna put her information in the chat. And actually, let me throw it up on the screen. And then I wanted to see if there was anything else that you wanted to add with respect to your anything you want to end with.
Just adding, like, once the person does come into a higher level of wholeness, you can get into the field of tantra. And so what tantra does, once you're really grounded within yourself, in your spiritual life, your physical life, and you've fully blended them, you begin to see the beauty and the beauty of sex, the beauty of intercourse, and you create a haven between you and your partner. And so you can use sex as manifestation, and
Girl, you better
goes
tell.
way beyond the physical. So it's kind of
Mm,
like, let's work through it so we can get back to what sex is really about. It's
That
about
mm.
sounds like a
creating.
show.
Yeah.
It
That's a
is
show.
a
Mhm.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need
we're gonna have a whole
to.
show.
Yes, yes. And
Yes.
so with that, I do partner with men that help other men that want to get into semen retention. If you're not actively producing children, preserve that semen, and so men and women come together in sacred union of what sex is about, which is ultimate creation. So that's like the whole goal in a nutshell. We're striving to bring it full circle in the spiritual essence of sex beyond the
Yes.
physical.
Yes. Let's take it beyond the physical and really get into what we're about.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so we are going to start to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you guys for
Okay.
tuning in, and I want to let you know we got a couple things coming up. One, um, we are going to be continuing this conversation. So I'm going to put up a link. I was trying to find it because I thought I had it handy, but I'm going to put it up on the screen. You can actually click to get to get the information for registration. So I'm going to stick that up there. It's going to be erectile dysfunction, continuing the conversation. We're going to have it on Saturday, September the 24th. That's about 6 p.m. ish in Columbia, Maryland. So I will be putting up the information so that you can actually, before we end the show, and I'll drop it in the chat for you to register for that. And then also, we are going to be putting together a list of 9 different natural ways that you can remedy erectile dysfunction. So we'll be also providing you with some resources. So I'll put that in the chat as well, and I'll drop a link so that you're able to either ask for one or the other or both. All right.
Yes.
So Pastel, you have anything that you want to add while I'm putting up this particular link?
No, I just want to say thank you to Miss Peaches. She
Thank
Yes,
you for
brought it
having
today.
me.
she dropped it like it was hot.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for having
You
me.
know, I evolved a little bit in this conversation.
Yes, that's what we
You
always
know,
striving for
Yay,
the we
yay,
for the growth and the
yay.
evolved a little bit in
expansion.
this conversation.
Yes.
But I really want to thank you for joining us. This is an important topic. I hope everybody takes something from this. If you found anything that you want more information, drop it in the chat. Like Science said, the conversation will continue. So thank you all for tuning in. Science, tell them what we got coming up again.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so let me see. I'm sorry, keep talking for 1 second, and then I'm going to tell them. I just want to
Oh
put this.
Lord.
I want to put this link on the screen, and I didn't get it up there. So.
Well, next week, since she's doing that, next week we're
Okay.
gonna be talking about your fall fashion. So we'll be talking about fall
Yes.
fashion. We'll be talking about skincare. Our resident stylist, Sharonda Irving, will be on here. She is
Yay.
awesome. You all should really follow her now because let me tell you what she got on her page right now.
Girl.
That Target, there's a sister, I can't remember her name, but she just dropped a line at Target.
Yes, goodness.
And when I say the shit is bad,
selling out.
It's
selling
sold
out like crazy.
What's the name of the damn?
I'm looking it up
Is it
now. I'm gonna tell
Tabitha?
you.
Is it Tabitha Brown? That
No,
one?
It's not Tabitha.
Tabitha shit ain't got nothing on this. No.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
Tabitha's
Drop that
amazing.
link.
Tabitha's
Drop that
amazing.
link.
So this is
She's
let's see.
amazing, but her
This
clothes
is-
are not like this. These are high.
Right.
These are highly
Kalana.
fashionable.
Is it Kalana Barfield? She's a new
Kalana
line.
Barfield. Yes.
And when I say it's funky, fashionable, so
Target.
we were on and we were talking to each other like we normally do. And she tells me, oh, check out Sharonda's Instagram. And I'm looking at Sharonda's Instagram and we are like, bitch, like the jeans, the shirts, just
They're nice. Just check it out.
She's
Or y'all
fly.
can follow Sharonda Irving.
Yeah. So check
Right.
Sharonda out. Sharonda's going to
She'll
come
be
on.
good.
She's also bringing somebody who's going to be talking about us about skincare, so you can take a look at making sure that we are taking care of our delicious selves out here in these streets.
Self-care.
And we representing because you got to be representing. And so
Right.
I did just put up the link. So if you want either the 9 different natural things that you can do to support you with erectile dysfunction, and also if you like to continue the conversation, we will be set up in Columbia, Maryland, and I'll send you the information that you need in order to register. And I think did you say, I'm not sure whether you were saying, Peaches, you're going to be able to be there? Will you be able to drop?
Yes, that's a live local
That's
event.
a
is what
live
you're
local
saying.
event. We will be there having cocktails and everything else, and we just going to chill out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have
great.
a couple of other friends that are sexologists that are considering dropping in too, but we're just going to, in person, so that way you can ask your questions and talk, and we, because we really intend on taking this offline at some point so that we're out in the world also having these conversations. That's actually what Cocktails as a sexologist was founded as in the first place, that we have these conversations. And of course, Pastel and I we're thinking of retreats and workshops and all sorts of stuff.
Let's not talk about it till we get together.
Okay, let's be not gonna talk about it.
We're gonna leave it there. We got two weeks. We're gonna continue the conversation.
Yes, got it.
With that, we're gonna end right here.
Yes,
right.
yes.
We love y'all. Y'all. So join us next week.
Yes.
I'm telling y'all, join us for real.
Yeah, Sharonda's bad.
Yeah, Sharonda's bad.
Bad girl.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, another wonderful No Bra Wednesday. Sign, you got the music ready?
I got the music cued and ready to go. And we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bang. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top if you got it.